This game is going away after this year, the rivalry between you and Iowa, and I know some of the guys said you guys sat down and talked about winning this trophy because whoever wins it gets to keep it for a few years now. I mean, how big is it now, and what did you guys talk about as far as that?
Yeah, I think it's kind of disappointing just because it is such a great rivalry, and the teams are so similar year in and year out, just the type of football that we play. But like you said, it's going to be big. But I think the biggest reason why it's a big game is just that it's the next game on our schedule, and as the season progresses, just the games get that much more important.
Yeah, with the momentum you guys have, how much have you heard comparisons to South Carolina? South Carolina loses to Kentucky after they beat Bama. I'm not saying that Iowa is Kentucky. I think much better, actually. How many times have you heard that comparison?
That was the first time I've heard it, but I think really you just have a great week of preparation, and typically when we have our good weeks of preparation, that's when we play our best on Saturday. So we just got to focus on each and every day leading up to the game, and I think that's the start.
Is forgetting about Ohio State easier said than done? Because when you're walking on campus, students aren't forgetting. You're probably still getting pats on the back.
Yeah, I think that's our control once we get over here, that the complete focus is on Iowa. You can't necessarily control what other outsiders are saying to you, but we got to really take pride in focusing on Iowa. And when we come over here, it's all business. And it was a great weekend and a great win, but now it's on to the next game.
This is a one game at a time program, but this stretch with Ohio State and Iowa at the beginning, was this something you guys saw and kind of circled and realized this was going to be maybe one of the most important 2-game stretches?
Yeah, I think that's in the summer when the schedule first comes out. You might say, well, those are two tough back-to-back games, but I think once the season starts, it truly is just one game at a time, because the Big Ten's so strong, and especially this year, that it's when you start looking ahead, and that's when it comes and bites you from behind. So we just got to take it 1 week at a time, no matter who we're playing.
Does Iowa have a special place in your heart? Because didn't you debut here? Is this where it all started for you? Your first debut on the football field?
Yeah, it was, and it was a great experience. I think the biggest thing I remember was just losing in that game, but it's a special place to play. Like a lot of different spots in the Big Ten, it's going to be loud, it's going to be chaotic, but these are the games you remember.
Scott, what stands out about the way they play on the defensive side?
A lot of things. They're tough, they're physical, they're well coached, and the one thing that year in, year out, I think you look at, they're a really good tackling team. They don't miss tackles, and they do things the right way, and they're disciplined, and they're a tough defense, a really good defense.
Is it overly simplistic to say that what it does is pretty basic compared to other teams? It's kind of the book on them. I don't know if that's being too simple.
I think, even if you were to go and ask the Iowa, they probably, almost take pride in that fact that it's, they're not necessarily going to confuse you, but they just play their scheme so well, and that's a tribute to both their players and their coaching staff. Just all the work that they put in, it shows on film. So we're going to have our hands full, and it's going to take a great week of preparation to be ready.
We're doing a story about James White and John Clay. I guess who isn't right now, but how Reggie Bush and Lendale White had thunder and lightning. Those guys don't have a nickname yet, and they're such different styles of runners. Has anybody on the team ever brainstormed anything on that yet?
No, I think no. Just I know I don't really have much of a creative mind, but apparently none of us do. So no, there's been no nicknames discussed, but it's been exciting to see both those guys compete.
Yeah, their styles.
You're going to shave your head, put the O-line numbers in your head this week?
Yeah, probably not going to happen.
The styles that those two guys have, though, so different. And how do you see the defense on their heels a bit when you look and you got different guys? And do you see the defense playing you any different?
I think really the case has been this year is they're just going to try to bring as many guys into the box as possible, and I think first and foremost you give credit to the offensive line, because they're really, you talk about James and John, and certainly it's special what they've been able to do, but it all starts with the offensive line, and I think James and John would be the first ones to point that out, is they're the foundation of our offense, and they make things go.
I think John's head points out the offensive line pretty well.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
I thought that was really cool. Just it just shows that, and that's kind of what the program's about. And John's no different. Is just being selfless and paying tribute to those guys that make it go.
Does that really make this matchup the Big Ugly Bowl because of their defensive line and your offensive line?
Yeah, it's going to be just an old-fashioned Big Ten game, and I think we know it, they know it, and it's really about having a great week of preparation, and when Saturday comes, being able to execute it.
Having that experience of playing the last time you guys were down in Iowa, how much can you draw on that? Just knowing the environment, knowing everything that goes into this.
Yeah, it's any road game in the Big Ten, it's always tough. I mean, the fans are always turning out at Big Ten games, and they're passionate. And I've been fortunate to go to Iowa twice before, and it's a tough atmosphere, and that's what makes it fun, because down the road you look at all these tough opportunities that you got a chance to play in, and I think it is special.
Scott, can you talk a little bit about Claiborne? What you see from him on film, and you just have another kind of standout season there in the end?
Yeah, he does everything. He's physically he's a specimen, and then he's a worker. I mean, he doesn't take plays off, and he's a special talent, and he's a heck of a player.
Can you compare him at all to OB? What OB did last year? I mean, do you see a lot of what OB did during practice?
Yeah,
what Claiborne does?
Yeah, I think just nothing too specific, but just they're playmakers. I mean, they find a way to the football, and that's what great players do.
So when you look at Jacob Patterson, where have you seen him grow over the last 3 or 4 games in particular?
A lot of areas. I think his confidence level has grown, and just steadily learning the playbook and just becoming a bigger asset to our offense. I think the thing you appreciate is just his preparation, that he wants to get better, and then he makes a few plays in games, and boom, the light bulb goes on, and now he's someone that you can really count on to make those plays.
He never run that play against Ohio State the other day in that position, did he?
And not particularly in practice, but that's why those film sessions are so important, because you might not be the guy in on that particular practice rep, but everyone's got to know what to do, and like I just said, that's why you tip your hat to Jacob just for wanting to know all those spots, because you know all those spots. The coaches trust you to put you in, and they trust to call those plays.
Scott, do you like those little bubbles that you run to Nick? And what's the key to them?
Yeah, I think it's a great compliment to our run game, just because it forces the defense to kind of spread out a little bit. But I think the key to them is just it changes every week, just based on the
How it's covered?
Yeah, based on how they're covering up certain formations. So, but it's a good compliment to our offense, or to our run game.
Is it also a play that maybe if you're not in rhythm helps you get in rhythm? I mean,
yeah.
It normally should be an easy, like a layup.
Definitely. You could look at it like in basketball they say layups and free throws are those things that kind of get your confidence going. So, it should be pitch and catch. So yeah, it should help the cause.
Do you think Nick is back at full speed or full strength now?
I think I'll never say that. I mean, I believe that everyone's got areas of improvement, but I appreciate the way he's gotten back into it, and gotten back into shape and stuff like that. But Nick, along with everyone else, we got a lot of strides to make, and we got 5 weeks left to do it.
Scott, that left side of your line with Creamy and Moffitt, what makes them work so well together? I mean, they've been together, for 3-4 years. But
yeah.
What makes them work so well together?
I think, the first thing is just, the work that they've put in ever since they stepped foot on campus. I mean, fifth-year guys, and like you said, played a lot of downs right next to each other. So, I think they've got that sixth sense of communication and knowing the looks, but then also, and just guys that continue to work hard. I mean, it doesn't matter what accolades they have or whatever. They, are selfless guys that just want to help this offense get better. And they've had 5 years and they've maximized it.
And last year there were questions about if Garrett could step up and fully replace Travis. And now this year, same thing with Lance. How has he been able to step up and clearly perform at a level equal to those guys? Yeah, just by the season ended last year, and I think everyone knew, and Lance especially knew that Garrett was gone, and now we were counting on him to be that guy. And there's two things you can do. You can shy away from it, or you can embrace it and really attack the preparation for that. And I thought
Lance from the get-go, from winter conditioning on. I mean, he was asking questions. He really wanted to be that accountable guy that could do everything, not just, you know, a few pass plays here, a few run plays here. He wanted to have that onus of just being able to do everything, and he's done a heck of a job up to this point, just you know, knowing everything.